Yep, that's right, every Loomian is being buffed. If you don't know what's happening, I'm going to be increasing the base stats of every fully evolved Loomian with the PvP 2.0 updates. The main reasons for this change is it'll give me more stat points to work with to help with the min-max stats, and it'll also let me buff the weaker Loomians with very low base stat totals. Although there are a few more things I should mention as well. Most of these buffs, like I said, are to help with min-maxing, so a lot of these stats will just go to a Loomian's unused attacking stats. If I'm happy with those stats low, I will then invest the stats elsewhere. My number one rule for this is that I won't be touching the speed stats at all. I think it's pretty clear that most people have ingrained into their mind all of the speed tiers, so I don't really want to mess that up. The only exception being is if I'm giving a Loomian a complete rework and rehaul. The new minimum base stat total for a fully evolved Loomian will be bumped up to 575, so all of the Route 1 and Gale Forest Loomians are going to be really happy. All except for the 500 base stat total Loomians like Sorchi and Icicle, just to name a few. They'll be getting a bump up to 525 instead. And other than that, all of the starters and the 610 base stat totals will be getting bumped up to 625, the Adventure Roamers will be getting a plus 50 stat increase, the Event Roamers will be getting a plus 25 stat increase, and then everything else will be getting a fairly small increase as seen fits. And finally, just because these stat changes are happening doesn't mean I can't change them again in the future, but I'm probably going to wait until after PvP 2.0 now before I change any more of these stats, just to let people play with them, and then figure out if there's any Loomians with some problems. But yeah, with that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and let's get into the stats. Kicking things off with the starting Loomians then, all of the starters have had their base stat total increased from 610 to 625. And the majority of these buff for starters is actually giving them their old stats back from when the game released, because if you don't know, starters used to have a 618 base stat total when the game first released, and then once Obsidian came out, I nerfed them to 610 to match up with Obsidian, and then also the other 610 base stat totals. Anyway, starting off with Enoyed, its health has been increased to 89, its range attack has been increased to 71, and its range defense stat has been increased to 85. Next up is Jamiy, which has now 105 health, 94 melee attack, 95 melee defense, 98 range attack, and 84 range defense. So yeah, Jamiy kinda got everything across the board bumped up a little bit. Next up is Tatab. Its health stat was increased to 75 and its range attack stat was increased to 92. I don't think anyone would complain about not buffing Tatab. It's already a monster, okay. Next up is Valkyrie. It now has 86 health, 87 melee attack, 74 melee defense, and 90 range defense. For Vesperatu, it now has 97 melee defense and 90 range attack. I'm not going to give Vesperatu any meaningful buffs, just like Tatab, it is a monster. It is basically held back by a couple of Loomians from just going hog wild on everything, okay? So yeah, but also the melee defense will open up more defensive sets again, and the range attack, yeah, mixed and range attacking Vesperatus are a little bit better, and also Airblade is a little bit scarier now for coverage. Next up is Himber. It got its old health stat back of 132, and then the rest was dumped into its range attack to increase it to 72. And the last starter being Zulong now has 92 melee attack, 60 melee defense, 109 range attack, and 79 range defense. Next up is Umbra, which now has 84 energy, 106 melee attack, 90 melee defense, 61 range attack, and 88 range defense. Luxor now has 84 energy, 61 melee attack, 73 melee defense, 106 range attack, 75 range defense, and 101 speed. And the last Twilight evolution being Eclipse now has 75 health, 84 energy, 106 melee attack, 90 melee defense, 106 range attack, 75 range defense, and 89 speed. Which, yes, is completely different to the Eclipse that we have actually today. And if you don't know exactly what I did, I made the health and the energy the exact same as the other Twilight evolutions, the melee stats are now shared with Umbrat, the range stats are now shared with Luxor, and the speed is somewhere in the middle of both of them. The issue that I have with the current Eclipse is that its stats are really good with its typing and ability. I don't really feel comfortable giving it like potentially dangerous or even broken moves like Magnify or Range Drudge, whereas with these new stats, because they are inherently just worse, I feel more comfortable giving it like a lot more dangerous moves like Drudge, Range Drudge, Magnify, Brawn Boost, and whatever. Although, I know that a lot of people aren't going to be happy with this, so once this update comes out, I'll test Eclipse, see how it does, and if it's just bad and nobody uses it, I will look into changing it again. Cinemoth now has 70 health, 55 melee attack, 85 melee defense, 98 range attack, 99 range defense, and 88 speed. Sumobito now has 72 health, 106 melee defense, 51 range attack, 101 range defense, and 55 speed. Avatros now has 85 energy, 78 melee defense, and 67 range attack. Boulder now has 85 energy, 120 melee attack, 105 melee defense, and 50 range attack. Florant now has 105 health, 88 energy, 55 melee attack, 105 melee defense, 82 range attack, and 105 range defense. And then for Soul Burst Florant, its health has been increased to 105, it now has 88 energy, 112 melee defense, 55 range attack, and 112 range defense. Terrafly got a rework as well, it now has 75 health, 85 energy, 112 melee attack, 87 melee defense, 61 range attack, and 95 speed. Terra Claw now has 94 health, 87 energy, 116 melee defense, and 60 range attack. Ragoon now has 95 health, 80 energy, 100 melee attack, 95 melee defense, 60 range attack, and 55 range defense. Borok now has 102 health, 81 energy, 95 melee defense, 49 range attack, and 70 range defense. Eliguana didn't get a huge change to it, it now has 55 melee attack and 90 range attack. Gastroke now has 120 health, 88 energy, 60 melee attack, 40 melee defense, 92 range attack, and 120 range defense. And then for the Soul Burst Gastroke, its only change was its range attack being increased to 107. Yeah, that's it. Wiki Wiki now has 70 melee defense, 62 range attack, and 70 range defense. Chaotiki now has 108 health, 94 energy, 49 melee attack, and 112 range attack. Wakalaka now has 104 health, 73 energy, 49 melee attack, and 108 range defense. Ballman now has 92 energy, 49 melee attack, 56 melee defense, and 92 range defense. Next up is Sorchi, which is the first 500 base stat total Loomian, and all of the base 500 Loomians have had their base stat totals increased to 525, which yes is 100 exactly lower than the starters and the new 625s. Which for Sorchi, it now has 52 melee defense, 104 range attack, and 74 range defense. Next up is Sedimaz, which now has 91 melee attack, 109 melee defense, 52 range attack, and 81 range defense. Ventation now has 90 energy, 57 melee attack, 90 range attack, and 58 range defense. Your Soul now has 120 melee attack, 68 melee defense, 50 range attack, and 90 range defense. Your Snack now has 92 melee attack, 115 melee defense, and 50 range attack. Revenine now has 65 health, 105 melee attack, 63 melee defense, and 67 range defense. Eruptidon now has 94 melee attack, 74 melee defense, 105 range attack, and 89 range defense. And then for Soul Burst Eruptidon, it now has 104 melee attack, and 94 range defense. Krakaloa now has 95 health, 48 melee attack, 95 melee defense, 91 range attack, and 99 range defense. And then for the Soul Burst Krakaloa, it now has 53 melee attack, 105 melee defense, 126 range attack, and 109 range defense. Volcaloa now has 90 energy, 110 melee attack, and 54 range attack. Festifer now has 118 health, 101 energy, 71 melee defense, 46 range attack, and 98 range defense. And Lashent now has 104 health, 86 energy, 93 melee defense, 46 range attack, and 79 range defense. Then for Obsidian, it now has 100 melee attack and 72 range attack. Churumble now has 79 energy, 52 range attack, and 68 range defense. Moochun now has 79 energy, 52 melee attack, and 79 melee defense. Gobademic, being a nuller, one of the 500 base at total Loomians, now has 35 melee attack and 93 range attack. And right back to back now we have Icicle, which is a nuller 500 base at total Loomian, and the only stat that changed about it was giving it 35 range attack. Yeah, not really much. And then for Soul Burst Icicle, its range attack stat was increased to 44. Next up is Ferroglyph, which is a 610 base at total Loomian. Its new changes are 100 energy, 55 melee attack, and 55 melee defense, although in the future I might bump Ferroglyph up to 650 based out total, instead of 625 to maybe make it a pseudo-legendary. We'll see. Next up is Garbantus, which now has 55 health, 97 melee attack, 115 melee defense, and 74 range defense. Stratosaur's new changes were 100 health and 49 melee attack. And then for Solbus Stratosaur, it also has 100 health and 66 melee attack. Diborg now has 78 health, 97 melee attack, 83 melee defense, 93 range attack, and 87 range defense. Hyrex is another 610 Loomian, which means it'll be changing to 625, and it has its energy stat increase to 94, and its range attack stat increase to 72. Yeah, I don't think Hyrex really needs much else, I feel like it's already pretty good. Munchwheel will have 94 health, 104 melee attack, and 52 range attack. Garjone will get 74 health, and 73 melee defense. Hunder's only stat that is getting changed is range attack, which will become 63, which I don't think anyone's going to complain about. Hunder is pretty scary sometimes. Arapago is getting 84 melee defense, 104 range attack, and 84 range defense. The first of the fossils is Skellig, which now has 55 range attack and 73 range defense. Joltooth is a very scary Loomian right now, so its only change is range attack going up to 56. Infernix is getting 84 health, 95 energy, 58 melee defense, and 117 range defense. And then Dorigo is getting 86 energy, 86 melee attack, and 90 range attack. I think Malmurk deserves a fairly big buff, so it's getting one. It now has 119 health, 83 energy, 97 melee attack, 92 melee defense, 94 range attack, and 89 range defense. As much as I love Meditoad, you really don't deserve any offensive stats, so the only thing that's being changed about it is health going up to 99, melee defense is going up to 92, and range defense is going up to 96. I promised that Blowtox would be getting a buff quite a while ago, which will happen in PvP 2.0 by increasing its melee attack stat to 109, and it will also be getting a new evolution move sometime in the future. Oh boy, it's Barblast time. It now has 88 energy, 72 melee attack, 107 melee defense, and 88 range defense. Galash now has 84 melee defense and 63 range attack. Deladrix being the first Weather Loomian we're gonna go over, which all of the Weather Loomians are being bumped up to 600 base stats, which means Deladrix is getting 85 energy, 114 melee attack, 58 melee defense, and 67 range defense. And the last fossil Loomian, which is Clossotrops, which is also a 610 Loomian, so its base stat total will be bumped up to 625, and the only stat I change about it is range attack is being bumped up to 70. Next up is Hogganosh, which has now 84 health, 90 melee defense, 57 range attack, and 109 range defense. Mocho is only getting a 72 melee attack stat increase, although I still think Mocho is fine. Some other people think it's dropping off, so I might return to it later on. We'll see. Spirizi now has 72 health, 46 melee attack, 103 melee defense, and 94 range attack. Whippledrift being another Weather Loomian, which means its base stat total is being increased to 600, so its new stats are 72 health, 115 melee defense, and 110 range attack. And next up, let's go over all of the Vari evolutions, which also are getting a very small bump in base stats. So starting up with Servalon, it now has 92 health. Wendelon will now have 60 melee defense and 98 range attack. Kirillon will now have 63 range defense. Zephyllon will now have 57 melee attack and 66 range defense. Venilon will now have 61 melee attack and 67 melee defense. Wrestleon is actually getting a small nerf. Its melee attack is now 120, and its range attack stat will be bumped up to 37. Also, I might have to take a look into its moves. Rogue Assault might be a little bit too much. Buzzalon will now have 45 range attack. Tundralon will now have 71 range attack. Hyrlon's a weird case. Its health is being bumped up to 104, its energy is now 86, and its melee attack stat is now 54. Although, I might have been a little bit too harsh in nerfing Parallel in the past, I will be taking a look at its stats again later on. And the last Vari evolution for right now is Hydralon, which is getting a melee defense stat increase to 59. Next up is Oxydrake, which is only having its range attack stat increase to 63. Havisect isn't technically a 500 base stat total Loomian, although I definitely do treat it like one, so it'll be getting bumped up to 525, just like the other 500 base stat total Loomians. and the only stat that is being changed is the range attack stat being bumped up to 57. Wintrix may just be a Christmas Loomian right now, however in the future I think it's going to be the Snow Loomian, so I'm going to give it 71 health and 63 melee attack to bump it up to 600 base stat total. Now Goop will have 68 melee attack, 77 melee defense, and 64 range defense. Next up is Ukame, which will be getting 95 energy, 52 melee attack, and 116 range attack. And yes, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about its new signature Sea-Song move, although for the cost of it, since it's a very good move, it's going to be very expensive. Banfino is next, which has 58 melee attack, 97 melee defense, 103 range attack, and 71 range defense. Also yeah, hopefully sometime in the future, I'm not going to say anything about PvP 2.0, but hopefully we get those abilities fixed. Hopefully. Kanibo has some of the most egregious min-max stats, okay? So its range attack stat is being increased to 39. Yeah, that's it. Samarine will be getting 82 melee defense, 58 range attack, and 64 range defense. Lumelo is... yeah. We don't talk about it. Its health stat has been increased to 100, its melee defense stat has been increased to 106, its range attack stat has been increased to 62, and its range defense stat has been increased to 96. Jalussa is getting 58 melee attack and 100 range defense. Also don't worry, I'll be taking a look into nerfing Jalussa because oh boy, it's pretty scary. Tayoshinu is getting 48 range attack. It's not really getting much else. I feel like it's already doing its job fairly well for what it does. However, Lyricat deserves a little bit more. It's getting 69 melee attack, 62 melee defense, 107 range attack, and 64 range defense. Although this alone probably won't really save it much, I'm gonna have to look at more moves for it. I should probably mention Boonery, otherwise I'll be getting a lot of comments about where is it and why didn't I mention it. Yeah, its stats aren't changing. Leone is getting 44 melee attack, that's it, and even then, I might potentially look into nerfing that range defense stat, maybe a little bit, we'll see. If you look up the meaning of mid in a dictionary or on Google, Sinogu will probably pop up, so it definitely needs some work. It will now have 55 melee attack, 71 melee defense, 115 range attack, and 86 range defense, and also I'll be looking into more moves for it, don't worry. Swirl is a Nuller 500 base stat total Loomian, so it's getting 25 stats, and all I've done is increase its health, melee attack, melee defense, range attack, and range defense stat to 65, just because, yeah, why not? Fishkana will be getting 79 health and 43 melee attack. Boneke will be getting 77 health, 73 melee attack, 72 melee defense, and 102 range attack. Also, oh boy, Bron Boost Boneke is looking pretty good. I wish. Seadrake is a Nuller 610 base stat total Loomian, so it'll be getting 81 health, 89 energy, and 97 range attack. I think it's pretty clear that Halvantic does not need a buff, so the only stat to be changed is range attack, which will be bumped up to 51. Which yeah, is just to fix the min-maxing. Imperior is having its melee attack stat increased to 93, its melee defense stat increased to 62, and its range defense stat increased to 57, which overall actually slightly nerfs it for its resentful ability, since, you know, it can take hits a little bit better. Next up is Holly Bunch, which is a Nuller 500 base stat total Loomian, and the only stat to get increased on this thing is its melee attack stat being bumped up to 51. I think I've already buffed this thing enough, and especially now with Very Hyper, yeah, is good enough. It doesn't need anything else. Bar Badger will have 78 health, 106 melee defense, 57 range attack, and 72 range defense. Dragodine is a Nuller 610 base stat total Loomian, and its change is its melee attack stat will be increased to 73. Yeah, I just nerfed Dragodine. We do not need to be giving it anything else. Next up is Char-Onyx, which is a Nuller weather-based Loomian, so its base stat total is being bumped up to 600, and the only stat I'm going to be changing about it is its melee attack stat, which is being bumped up to 68. Yeah, don't worry, I'm also already looking into nerfing Char-Onyx, and the best part is, it doesn't even have its weather summoning ability right now, so oh boy, it can be even more broken than it already is. Back-to-back Weather Loomians, the next one is Billaforge, which is getting a melee attack stat of 117, a range attack stat of 117, and a range defense stat of 71, so overall, a fairly good buff for it. Yeah, sure, but I kind of forgot I did you pretty dirty. I gave it 42 melee attack and 62 range defense. I'm sorry, Sherbot lovers. Lumala, believe it or not, is a Nuller 610 base stat total Loomian, and its stat increase will be its melee attack stat being bumped up to 60. I also gotta look into buffing this thing because, oh boy, It is just like Sinogar, very mids. Weaselin will be getting 71 melee defense, 56 range attack, and 66 range defense. My favourite Elanthine Part 2 Loomian, which is Moriel, is getting 86 melee attack and 81 range defense. Crabtana, just like Canibo, is just getting a 39 range attack stat, just to fix min-maxing. Next up is Terradescent, which just like the Crabtana and Canibo, is only having its range attack stat increased to 45. Ronsu is getting 54 melee attack, 82 melee defense, and 72 range defense. Shrimposte is getting 102 melee defense, 54 range attack, and 72 range defense. Dokomori is only going to be getting a range attack stat increase of 60. I feel like it's in a really good spot. I don't think it really needs anything else. Marafe is another Loomian that has issues with min-maxing. However, unlike a lot of Loomians which has min-maxing in their attacking stats, Marafe is actually in its melee defense stat, so we're going to be bumping it up to 72. Gramboss is a nuller 610 base stat total Loomian, and the only thing that will be getting changed to is its range attack stat being bumped up to 66. Chienta is a nuller dangerous Loomian and doesn't really need any buffs, so the only change that will be happening to it is its range attack stat being bumped up to 73. And it also makes sense because, you know, it radiates lights. I think Parasol is in a pretty good spot and also is a very new Loomian, so the only thing that'll be changing about it is its range attack stat being bumped up to 64. Bewand is having its melee defense stat and its range defense stat increased to 97. Landtorch already nukes hard enough okay, I am not touching those attacking stats and also they're already completely fine as it is, so it'll be getting 62 melee defense and 71 range defense, although because of Glass Cannon, even though its bulk is being bumped up a little bit, it should still hopefully die in one-shots. And I'm pretty sure this is the last normal Loomian, which is Rancidor, which is getting a melee attack stat increase to 49, and a melee defense stat increase to 59. And now, let's go over the roaming Loomians, which for the normal adventure roaming Loomians, their best stat totals are going to be going from 650 to 700s. Which starting us off is going to be Dusky, and its range attack stat will be increased to 132, and its range defense stat will be increased to 104. Ikazune will have 72 health, 115 energy, 119 melee attack, 149 range attack, and 89 range defense. Protagon will get 58 health, 118 energy, 82 melee attack, 99 melee defense, 121 range attack, and 101 range defense. Dokuda will be getting 99 health, 119 energy, 127 melee attack, 86 melee defense, 95 range attack, and 77 range defense. And then for Soul Burst Dokuda, it will be getting 119 health, 119 energy, 95 melee attack, 96 melee defense, 157 range attack, and 87 range defense. Mutagon will be getting 133 energy, 114 melee attack, 119 melee defense, 98 range attack, and 68 range defense. Cephalops is a very dangerous Loomian. I have to be very careful when changing things about it, because one wrong mistake can just make it broken. It'll be getting 164 health, 116 energy, 69 melee defense, 129 range attack, and 74 range defense. Beige will have 105 energy, 75 melee attack, 120 melee defense, and 145 range attack. Glacidia will be getting 96 health, 88 melee attack, 69 melee defense, and 102 range defense. Asteros will be getting 96 health, 88 range attack, and 79 range defense. And then for Nova Deus, which already has a base stat total of 700, yes, we'll be going up to the big ol' 750. Yeah, that's a very big stat. So now it will have 96 health, 115 energy, 134 melee attack, 90 melee defense, 134 range attack, and 80 range defense. And lastly is the Event Roamers, which unlike the Adventure Roamers won't be getting a base stat total from 650 to 700, they'll just be going from 650 to 675, just to make a clear difference between the two. And we also don't need like 50 Loomians running around with 700 base stat totals. But for Metronet, it'll be getting an energy increase to 128, and a melee attack increase to 84. And then for Soul Burst Metronet, it will have 118 energy and 119 melee attack. Wobelisk will have 106 health, 103 energy, 88 melee defense, and 98 range defense. Nimue will have 76 health and 66 melee attack. Next up is the Cosmiors, which are all basically getting the exact same change, but we'll go over them individually. Cosmior E, Encased, the meatball version, will be getting a melee attack stat increase to 68. Cosmere C, the cracked version, will also be getting its melee attack stat increase to 68. And then finally Cosmere U, which is Unleashed, will be getting its range attack stat increase to 68. So yeah, across the board it's basically the exact same change, just for the range attackers will be getting a melee attack increase, and the melee attacking one will be in a range attack increase. Nevermare will have 66 health and 66 range attack. Akalos is getting 116 health, 97 melee defense, 73 range attack, and 91 range defense. And now for Gargolems, which are all generally getting roughly the same buff, okay? Starting off with Gargolem Beeline, which is base form, it'll get 105 energy, 120 melee attack, 85 melee defense, 120 range attack, and 85 range defense. Then for Gargolem A, which is attack form, will have 105 energy, and 165 melee attack and range attack. Then for Gargolem D, which is defense, will also have 105 energy, and 165 melee defense and range defense. And then lastly for Gargolem S, which is speed, will also have 105 energy, it will be getting 90 melee attack and range attack, and will also be getting 165 speed. Then for Celesting, it'll be getting 63 melee attack, 79 melee defense, 108 range attack, and 84 range defense. Odo Yaga is getting 93 health, 95 energy, and 103 melee attack. And the very last Loomian is going to be Mamask, which will be getting 95 health, 65 melee defense, and 65 range defense.